Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Victoria Valenzuela. Thank you for joining us. Cronkite News is committed to covering education news across the state. Tonight we look at everything from adults earning their high school diplomas to circus school.
Stories of fresh starts for graduates are not unusual this time of year. As Allison Snell reports, these adult graduates are sharing stories not only of fresh starts, but of second chances.
Walking across the stage at Queen Creek High School to receive a diploma has been a dream for many of these adults pursuing their education. And it's the first step that many say they're taking on a path to a new life.
I'm originally from Mexico, but I came in here like maybe 25 years, 30 years ago to better life, better work.
These adult education students are taking big strides as they walk to receive their high school diploma, but it didn't come easy.
It's hard when we have to work and go to school and take care of the kids, and it's very hard.
It's challenging. I have no family, so doing things by yourself, it's tough.
Graduates came face to face with harsh realities that gave them motivation.
I had a son, and I wanted to better my life for him.
All this about because my family, my wife, and my kids. That's my only passion.
They aren't planning on stopping here.
I'm studying aesthetics right now, but I do plan to go back for nursing because aesthetics is skincare, but nursing is just a building block to get further where you want.
I try to get more education, to get more English, like writing, and because I'm very bad at writing. I got a long time to go.
With big plans ahead, they remember the struggles they're leaving behind.
They're in situations where they have people to guide them and tell them this is what you need to do and this is why, but then there's people like me who don't have that.
Lessons learned have given the graduates more insight into their future.
I can help anyone in any way, even if that's just talking. I'll do that because people need that.
Queen Creek graduates range in age from 18 to 80 and are from many different countries. Some graduated with their high school equivalency diploma, some were induced into the Honor Society, and others received certificates. In the Broadcast Center, Allison Snell, Cronkite News.
It's an interactive seminar that could help save a life. The Be Safe workshop, hosted by the Autism Society of Greater Phoenix and the Autism Coalition, is designed to build a relationship between law enforcement and those with developmental disabilities. Reporter Jordan Daphnis went to the class to learn more about the issues being addressed.
For all parents, keeping their children safe is a top priority. For parents of kids with developmental disabilities, this task can be a bit more difficult. The Be Safe workshop is easing some of that difficulty.
As a parent, I thought I need to prepare my boys so that if they were ever in contact with a police officer, not only would they know what to do, but so that they can get to understand that they are a friendly type of officer.
The kids play games with officers and get to ask law enforcement as many questions as they want. That way they feel more comfortable if they ever end up in a police encounter.
The feedback that I get from all of law enforcement is they think that this curriculum is fantastic, and they love that they can interact with the community and we can build relationships.
The workshop is designed to be proactive instead of reactive.
To help individuals on the intellectual and developmental disabilities, the autism spectrum, learn how to deal with issues and problems as they arise and empower them. We haven't empowered our population enough, and this empowers them and helps them work with the police.
Having clear instructions can help people with developmental disabilities.
Some individuals on the spectrum are very task-oriented and step-oriented, and so I want my boys to learn those steps.
Having a plan before an incident can make a huge difference for anyone, especially someone with developmental disabilities.
I think any of us, right, we practice fire drills and we know what to expect when a smoke alarm goes off, and in a building we know what the path is. And so having that opportunity just to in a safe space where adrenaline is low, understand.
It is not uncommon for kids on the autism spectrum to wander away. The Autism Association encourages parents to call 911 right away if they are unable to locate their child. Effective August 3rd, the Silver Alert will also include alerts for children who wander away due to developmental disabilities. In the Broadcast Center, Jordan Daphnis, Cronkite News.
In the wake of the Red for Ed movement, community members are still rallying to get better funding for Arizona classrooms. I looked into the Invest in Education initiative that is trying to get on the November ballot. Invest in Education initiative organizers announced that 65% of opinion poll responders support funding classrooms with an income tax raise.
So I have a daughter who's going to be a senior next year and a son who's going to be a second grader, and my daughter has never had a fully funded classroom.
Joshua Buckley hopes that this proposition will change that. The initiative proposes an income tax increase that would just about double the current tax rate for individuals making over $250,000 and for families making over $500,000.
This proposal puts more balance into what is now a very unbalanced system.
The initiative has until July 5th to collect more than 150,000 signatures in order for the proposition to be on the November ballot.
We will fight, and we will continue to fight.
But organizers believe that with the support they've seen for teachers and school funding recently, that they will meet the goal.
This whole movement that we've seen happen with Red for Ed and everything, we want to focus on our kids, right? You want to be in the classroom with your kids, you want to educate them, you want to work with them.
If the proposition passes, organizers say it would bring almost $700 million to classrooms annually. In the wake of the Red for Ed movement, community members are still rallying to get better funding for Arizona classrooms. I looked into the Invest in Education initiative that is trying to get on the November ballot. Invest in Education initiative organizers announced that 65% of opinion poll responders support funding classrooms with an income tax raise.
So I have a daughter who's going to be a senior next year and a son who's going to be a second grader, and my daughter has never had a fully funded classroom.
Joshua Buckley hopes that this proposition will change that. The initiative proposes an income tax increase that would just about double the current tax rate for individuals making over $250,000 and for families making over $500,000.
This proposal puts more balance into what is now a very unbalanced system.
The initiative has until July 5th to collect more than 150,000 signatures in order for the proposition to be on the November ballot.
We will fight, and we will continue to fight.
But organizers believe that with the support they've seen for teachers and school funding recently, that they will meet the goal.
This whole movement that we've seen happen with Red for Ed and everything, we want to focus on our kids, right? You want to be in the classroom with your kids, you want to educate them, you want to work with them.
If the proposition passes, organizers say it would bring almost $700 million to classrooms annually.
Governor Doug Ducey says education is looking up across the state. Since last month's teacher walkout and the legislature passing a budget, the governor's office claims things have improved. The Office of Education website has begun posting a list of what pay raises school districts across the state have planned for this upcoming school year.
For years, ASU has been trying to build a new campus in Mesa, but voters did not approve.
Last night, Mesa City Council approved an agreement to build the new campus in their downtown area. Nicole Hernandez has been following this story. Nicole?
The agreement includes a 99-year lease for ASU to use the property in downtown Mesa and puts the responsibility of building the 2 new buildings and a park on the city of Mesa. The project will cost Mesa more than $60 million to complete, but Mayor Giles says the investment is worth it.
We're anxious to do things that stimulate new growth in our downtown because, frankly, we make a lot of money when new businesses move into downtown.
And local business owners agree. The new campus will bring a large new population of people to the downtown Mesa area. ASU agreed to bring at least 750 students and 40 faculty to the area.
I know what it did for downtown Phoenix, and I think it'll do the same thing over here in Mesa, so we're excited about it.
But not everyone is on board with the project.
In the 5 years that we do budget for, it's structurally imbalanced in that we spend more than we take in revenues. So for anyone to say we have leftover money for pet projects is simply not true.
Now the new campus will be placed here near Pepper Place and Centennial Way, and ASU expects students to attend the campus in the fall of 2021.
The vote yesterday made the plans reality for ASU and Mesa. According to Mayor Giles, the campus will host part of ASU's film school and a new program focused on technology. ASU is planning on giving 25 scholarships every year to Mesa High School students who plan on attending the university. In the Broadcast Center, Nicole Hernandez, Cronkite News.
The Phoenix Fire Department and emergency response teams, including the Red Cross, are teaching disaster preparedness to ASU nursing students. Reporter Amanda Mason gathered tips from the workshop to help you stay safe.
I spoke with Cheryl Schmidt, a nurse and clinical professor at ASU who is in charge of emergency responding training for the nursing students. She shared some information with me on how to prepare for a disaster.
Our students go all over the country, so they have to be ready. So we have disasters here like tsunamis and mudslides and earthquakes and even ice storms, because you never know where you're going to be.
ASU nursing students gathered to prepare for the worst. Dr. Cheryl Schmidt helped create a national training program after witnessing the lack of preparation during the 9/11 attacks. Each student group gets a disaster scenario and creates a game plan to handle all the possible situations and medical obstacles.
Students, we may go into a disaster and not even perform a nursing role. Like, we could just be, making phone calls, and but that doesn't mean it's any less important than, nursing specific tasks. So I think that was surprising, that learning that we could be doing other things. We could be doing anything, really.
Another instructor is firefighter Juan Rodriguez, who shares personal stories to help prepare them for difficult situations.
We can't save them all, so it's just, what can you do? You just rely on your training, because something that you experience but you see, and it's just like, how do you manage it? It's just rely on your training, and then when you get back to the station or you get back to somewhere where it's a controlled setting, you kind of dissect that and just diffuse.
No matter where you live, Schmidt says that you should be prepared for anything.
Biggest problem we see in shelters are people coming with the clothes on their back, nothing else. If they have chronic illnesses, they don't bring their own medicine, they don't bring their equipment, they may bring a cane or a walker, but they don't have what they need to take care of them, and we can help them in the Red Cross shelter. But what if the pharmacies are affected by the disaster and we can't replace their medicine right away?
Experts also recommend to have a go bag with you with everything you need to survive for 3 days. That should include a cell phone, medications, special food if you have a food allergy, and copies of insurance forms. Amanda Mason, Cronkite News.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland. In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia.
From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
I'm Ted Simons, host and managing editor of Arizona Horizon. The 2018 election season has arrived. Join us for primary and general election debates. Right here, meet the candidates and hear their positions. Arizona Horizon, your source for what matters most this election season. Only on Arizona PBS.
Join us each week on Catalyst, the show that explores new advancements, technologies, and innovations at Arizona State University that are shaping the future for tomorrow and beyond. Catalyst, Wednesdays at 9, right here on Arizona PBS.
The Burton Bar Central Library was closed for repairs after a flood. Announced it will be reopening to the public on June 16th.
Reporter Nicole Hernandez spoke with community members about the announcement.
The 5-story building is more than just a library. Its size allows it to provide services to Phoenicians of all ages, and community members are excited for the building to open again.
Yeah, it's a nice library, it is.
For 11 months, that library has been closed because of flood damage. In July of last year, the building's sprinkler system mistook a dust storm for smoke, causing the pipes in the system to fill with water. Some of the pipes were corroded, leaking water and causing damage. While Burton Bar was closed, City of Phoenix opened the temporary public library at Park Central Mall.
It's not quite the same, but I think it's better than having no library downtown at all.
The city was able to make the most of the situation, even though the water damage was extensive.
We have been able to take advantage of this time and bring some significant enhancements and improvements to a couple of our key service areas.
Those services are one reason this library is so important to community members. They include children's interactive activities, GED sessions, and STEM classes.
And then there's the traditional library stuff that will then be available. People can come down and get on a computer and get on the internet, check out materials.
just hang out in a great space.
Well, I'm just glad it'll be open again. I kind of miss going there.
Reopening day will be full of activities, including a magic show and adult craft programs. Specific information about the day and book returns can be found on the Public Library website. In the Broadcast Center, Nicole Hernandez, Cronkite News.
Summer means school's out. It also means those who get free lunches may be going hungry. But there are programs across the valley offering free summer meals for anyone 18 years and younger.
St. Mary's Kids Cafe and Peoria Unified School District are just two of many summer food service programs. They're aiming to provide 6,000 meals daily.
So part of USDA's goal is to make sure that all kids have nutritious meals all year round. And just because school's out doesn't mean kids aren't still hungry.
A lot of thought and love goes into making the kids' meals.
Kids get excited to see what new we have, especially if we have watermelon, cantaloupe, mandarin oranges. Best day ever for the kids. They love mandarin oranges.
I like to come here. I come here like most of the time, and I will eat lunch.
Arizona, it's known that we have 60% of students that need free and reduced lunch rates, and only 15% of those that need it actually take care of it during the summer.
There are 130 sites just like this one in the state of Arizona that are providing free summer meals for children who might be facing food insecurity.
I'm happy because they let us get it for free.
The biggest concern is making sure kids are taken care of. That's anyone's concern. And by having the free meals, you know that kids have options all summer long. And that's our important. If we feed kids great meals, they can learn, they can grow up to be healthy adults and part of society.
No ID is required for children going to get free lunches. For those 19 and older, breakfast is $1.75, and for lunch and dinner, it's $3. You can find more details on specific site locations on the Peoria Unified School District website and St. Mary's Kids Cafe Facebook page.
There's a new book club in town that's not like any other. Jordan Daphnis went to the shelter to find out why this book club is going to the dogs.
They may not have any fancy finger foods or even a couch, but the Arizona Animal Welfare League's Rough Draft Book Club gives you the opportunity to read with shelter animals.
Studies through Arizona State University have shown that reading and other low-energy activities can help ease anxiety and increase confidence in pets. Communications Director Michael Moorfield also hopes it will help pets find a forever home.
Besides the fact that reading is really great and it's helping our shelter animals just be calm and spend time in the kennel, we also think it's going to help them get adopted.
And even if you can't take one home, spending time with them makes a huge difference. And it's also a great way to beat the summer heat.
Sit in the air conditioning and spend time with their dogs in the air conditioning, since they're not able to really go around and run in the yards and burn off all the energy. That still allows that sociability that dogs and cats really need when they're in the shelter.
Each word read and minutes spent hanging out with these animals is helping them gain a bit more confidence. Estrella is one of the pets up for adoption, and you can tell she loves a good book.
So Estrella sometimes gets a little nervous around strangers. So for me to just sit out here and read a book, it's going to help her realize that strangers aren't scary, that it's okay that somebody sits here and reads a book.
There is no training required to join this book club for the dogs, but you are not allowed inside the kennel unless you've gone through volunteer training.
The books are donated each month by Changing Hands Bookstore, and members of the club meet once a month to discuss the book. In the Broadcast Center, Jordan Daphnis, Cronkite News.
Have you ever dreamed of flying through the air in the Big Top? Cronkite News reporter Andrew Christensen shows us what skills you'll need to join the circus and where to get them.
Balance, flying, juggling, all the skills you'll learn at the Circus School of Arizona. They offer a summer camp for kids where I got an inside scoop of what it means to be a circus performer.
Thumping feet on mats, part of practicing, not for gymnastics, not cheer, but circus school. Acrobatics, balancing acts, prop manipulation. Just some of the skills kids are taught at the Circus School of Arizona.
What we want to encourage them to know is that yes, it is difficult, and it's even more rewarding when you can work through those difficulties. And so we try to keep it at an accessible level, but we do want to push you a little bit.
Just went to the circus one day and I saw that it was pretty cool and I was like, I want to do that. I learned how to juggle, balance on the wire, balance on a walking globe.
When you come here and you're literally on just the silks or on a stationary trapeze or on the lyra, you have to trust yourself that you're going to be able to hold your own weight, that you've been able to comprehend the steps leading up to this. So it's taught me a lot about self-trust. It's taught me a lot about trusting the process and patience. And it's also taught me just perseverance overall.
I do gymnastics, so I thought it would be like kind of similar and it would be easier since I've done activities kind of like it before. It helps me with strength probably and being tougher because it kind of hurts a lot sometimes.
This circus school definitely lets kids balance a healthy lifestyle, all in an air-conditioned warehouse.
The Circus School of Arizona also offers private parties and workshops to kids that want to brush up their balancing act. In the Broadcast Center, Andrew Christensen, Cronkite News.
For 1 week every year, teenagers are given the opportunity to see if they have what it takes to be a first responder. Scottsdale Fire and Police Departments provide an inside look at their jobs. Reporter Emily Richardson attended the Public Safety Teen Academy's fire drill training.
This academy has been such an amazing experience, and I recommend it to everyone who's interested.
While most teenagers are sleeping in during their summer vacation, a handful here in the Valley are completing training drills designed for firefighters and police officers. This academy gives teenagers a chance to learn hands-on what it's like to be a first responder. And today, they got to run into a smoke-filled building.
It's really fun. You go in there with a partner. You suit up in the whole entire suit, and then you go through the building, and there's smoke, and you can't really see, and you're following the hose line. And you have to find a baby or a victim inside.
The teens then get a chance to climb up a 30-foot ladder, put out a fire with a fire extinguisher, ride in the fire truck, and man a fire hose. And while they love the hands-on activities, recruits say their favorite part is the relationship they make with their fellow classmates.
My favorite part is seeing everybody pick each other up in my squad.
Bonding with my instructors and my junior RTO and also my recruits, just because I get a feel for who I'm leading as a recruit leader and squad leader.
In Tempe, Emily Richardson, Cronkite News.
The recruits say that learning what public safety officers go through on a day-to-day basis gives them a better respect for firefighters and police officers.
The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office is using summer vacation to give young adults a behind-the-scenes look at law enforcement. Reporter Kevin Fleischman attended the county's Explorer program.
It's definitely physically and mentally challenging, especially all the small things, because that's something they focus on the most.
Friday marks the end of the Maricopa Sheriff's second Explorer program, which teaches young adults the ins and outs of law enforcement. Many of these cadets are still in school and hope once they graduate to start a career in law enforcement.
I'm looking at joining the Marine Corps, which after my father, and then I'd like to go to college after that and probably pursue a career in law enforcement.
Hinsberg says that being in the Explorer program is a unique experience. Today, the cadets learn how to dust for fingerprints and the importance of DNA samples. Class Sergeant Jesus Jerez says that getting the youth involved is important because it creates lifelong interest in law enforcement.
Let's get them while they want it and show them what it takes to become it and give them a little bit of taste of what they could get, and that establishes some kind of accountability, integrity, and what they want to do so that they can be successful.
And while the training process can be hard, Hinsberg says it helped create a bond with his fellow cadets.
We've all become very close since we're all in the same boat and all plan to help each other.
We set their goals to where they can be successful, so when they leave this program, they leave with that confidence that when they set their mind to something, they can accomplish anything.
After graduating, the cadets have weekly meetings with their training officers to continue their learning process. In Phoenix, Kevin Fleischman, Cronkite News.
The Sheriff's Office has created other programs as well to help show the public what it's like to be a public safety officer. Arizona is facing a shortage of veterinarians, especially those who take care of livestock in our more rural areas, according to the USDA. But as Andrew Christensen reports, one local camp is trying to inspire young students to consider it as a career.
Reptiles, dogs, rabbits, all the animals you'll see at the Arizona Animal Welfare League. I got an exclusive look at their kids camp, where kids learn how to properly care for animals.
Barking, a familiar sound to the Arizona Animal Welfare League. From dogs to reptiles to birds, its kids camp focuses on animal care.
I think a lot of times the parents think that we're here just so that they can play with the animals and pet them, which is important, but we really want them to become community ambassadors for these animals. So we want them to realize when they go to a pet store, yeah, this leopard gecko is really cool, but it has a lot of work to them. We want to make sure to give them empathy. And enrichment is just games. It's just things that they can play with. They get their minds working. That way they're not bored, they're not unhappy, they're having a good time.
One aspect of the camp, learning animal behaviors, how to recognize when a pet will attack.
It can happen with anything. So if you notice that a dog really likes a chair or really likes a certain toy or food, this is another reason why we don't mess with them when they're eating, because again, we don't always know their history. They could have had a bad experience where someone took away their food, so now they want to protect it.
But the camp's focus, learning about animals they don't usually interact with in order to promote a healthy relationship with them and inspire possible future vets.
The Arizona Animal Welfare League also offers field trips, presentations, volunteer opportunities, and pet adoptions. In the broadcast center, Andrew Christensen, Cronkite News.
Thanks for joining us on this special edition of Cronkite News. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.